Welcome back, everybody. Well, I'll give you a little update on what's been going on. We did do some baling, and we're gonna go rake some of that barley. We're gonna rake all that barley and bale that today. So that's what's happening on Ranching Sodak. So I did get the tractor put back together, got a new alternator on it, new serpentine belt. We serviced it then while we had it here. Washed her up. This puppy's ready to go, but in the meantime, we did take it off of the rake and put the 4250 on the rake, and that's what we were raking. I told you it wasn't gonna rain for 10 days. It's rained twice in the last 5 days. The hay we had down, the first batch got 2/10 on it. The second field got a 1/2 inch rain on it. I did get that baled yesterday, but the barley is still down. So let's cruise over there. I have not got the sprayer put back together. I don't understand what's going on with that, but I haven't looked at it too closely. You're caught back up to speed. Did catch 2 pocket gophers in my yard though. Thanks for all the comments. I do read all the comments, so keep them coming. I don't know what I'm doing. I talk like I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, we did catch a couple gophers, so that's good. Let's actually go set another trap there. Still one digging. There must be 3 of them here. So here's a fresh mound from just last night. There you can see the hole right here. So I'm gonna dig down there, and I tuned up my traps too. I loosened up this nut and lubed them all up. They're pretty snappy now. So like I said, I did catch a couple, so that helped. Anyway, let's dig her down. I did go back to putting that flap on there, and I think that does help keep the light out. A little bit more relaxed when they come to that hole. They don't see the light. All right, let's go get in the rake, see what that looks like. It was supposed to rain last night, and I think it did. It fired up east of us. Kind of glad we missed one. You hate to talk like that when you are a farmer or a rancher. It's been awful tough to get any hay put up in a decent fashion. Oh boy, I'm having a hard time backing up today. Come on, girl. That's what you call jackknifing right there. Right into the old side panel. As long as you don't slide the wheels of the trailer, you're fine. Did the outside rounds yesterday. It needs to lay up. We're gonna have to rake it and just let it lay up. After dinner, it should go fine. We'll go check it. Pretty humid out right now. I don't know if it'll pick it up or not. Yeah, see how wet that is underneath there. If I would have known this was gonna get rained on, I wouldn't have put my windrows quite so wide. It's really bleached it out and pushed her down. If the guy would have narrowed his windrows up just a hair, it would have been a little more protected underneath the windrow from the discoloration and the rain, the washing it out. But I don't know. I thought it was gonna be just beauty, you know. It was gonna layer out, dry in 2-3 days, and we'll be baling. It was gonna be green. We definitely lost some feed value on this field, for sure. If I should try to rake it up, the ground is still dewy and wet a little bit. We can try her. Nobody's out here telling us we can't. We'll make a round and see how it acts. So my little prototype stopper from wrapping didn't really work on this stuff so good. What I did on these back wheels, see how these arms are turned in? So this gap here is pretty narrow. So on the back wheel, I turned this thing way away. So I got a bigger gap here. That helps. Still wraps around there, still kind of a mess. Better get the knife and cut these off before we start. On the new H&S rakes, I was looking at them, what they've upgraded to help prevent this. They actually have a collar welded on the actual hub that sticks out just enough to miss this, so it sticks out about 1.5 inches. And that goes around, so it's bigger, has a hard time getting started. So that's something we could maybe try to do. You'd have to take the hubs off, and this doesn't eat your bearings out. It doesn't do any damage to your bearings. If it'll get too tight on here, then it'll slow the wheel down. Rake teeth are getting a little bit of dirt on them, a little bit of mud. I don't know. It's picking her up though. Needs to be fluffed up. We'll make a round and then we'll get out and feel it. I'm afraid we just have to go for it. Get her up off the ground. There, it's missing a little bit. down in this low spot where it's heavy. Millie's hoping to find a mouse. Well, let's feel of it. It is picking it up, so that's good. It's not as wet as a guy thinks. I mean, it's definitely damp and humid out. But then you got these little spots here. They look wet, but they are drying down. I always give it the kick. Give it the old kick test. Kind of gauges on how much moisture's in it by how much it weighs. I think we're gonna be fine. Got to get it aired up. Got to get her up off the ground, boys. Don't know if it's any good or not. Well, Lazy Bones here wants to ride now, huh? You're acting all tough like you were gonna go hunt mice all day, huh? You walked one round. One round you made it. Epic time lapse. You guys have no idea what I go through to get you these shots. Thicker the windrow. See how green that stayed underneath, even though it was rained on. That's why I wish I would have had the windrows a little tighter, but yeah, still a lot of feed here. Something different all the time, or you kind of offer them different feed throughout the winter, and they'll eat about anything. But it's nice to have good feed too, of course. You want to do that. So this was kind of a debacle, but it'll be interesting if we get that other field up, put up right, we can test them how much feed value we actually lost by having this rained on. The other thing I did on kind of accident was see how narrow this is compared to over there. When I had my auto steer set, I was always like a foot short on the one side, so then you go down and turn around and it would have the windrows would be closer together, which I kind of like doing that by just shorting yourself 8 inches or a foot, say, on your head. Now when you go to rake these two together, especially if you pick this at the right spot, you don't have to throw them very far, versus here if you'd have to pull this one all the way and that one all the way. So maybe something to think about in the heavier crops to cheat yourself over a foot. You know how you're at like a steakhouse, buffet steakhouse, where you can eat as many steaks as you want, still find yourself going back up there and saying, I'm gonna maybe try some of that questionable looking pea salad. That's what this hay is gonna be kind of like for the cows. You know, we'll have a lot of prime rib for them, but this is gonna be kind of the questionable pea salad hay. So you notice I left this hill, this really steep hill right here, and the soil is completely shot. There's just nothing but gravel and clay on top of here from being plowed for 40 years. All the topsoil is down there where the crop is thick. So I don't take anything off of here. I just cut it and I just leave it. So all that's just gonna be left, and then it'll grow back, and whatever's there, the cows will eat or graze, and it'll just stay. So I'm trying to build organic matter. I've been feeding bales of hay on top of this hill over the years, trying to build up the soil, and I don't till that area. If I lightly till this ground, you know, I raise it up on there. But anyways, we got this field pretty much done. There's a tiny little bit over there, and then we're out of here. No sun, nothing but clouds and dark clouds above us, but the wind's blowing. I think the sun's gonna come out. Nice jump. Parkour! Parkour! These little dark clouds are scooching past us. I think it's the tail end of what happened last night. You know, it's the system's kind of moving through. So we got the wind's starting to blow. We'll find out what Ellie's up to. We're gonna let this lay up for a few hours for sure. There's no sense in pushing the envelope. Let's look at this sprayer and kind of regain some control in front of the shop here. It kind of got a little intense the last few days. I'll put some of this stuff back away. I'll try to get that sprayer going while we're waiting. I might go line up a few bales depending on how them windrows dry out. So found the bottom of this front of the shop business. I got my multimeter. We're gonna see if we can figure out what's going on with this sprayer. I had a 10 in there before, and then now we'll put a 30 in there. If that don't work, then we'll just put some wire in there. So now we should have juice. Actually works. So I think it's this connection here is a little sketch. Problem solved. Let's go spray this little bit of load off and kill some weeds. I don't mind having this fuse in the line, that doesn't bother me, but this thing here must be broke off in there or something because she don't have nothing. So I say we just cut this cord here and hook this to these couplers. I kind of like these. I don't think they're supposed to be used outside or whatever, but I kind of like them. I'm not using them in the right application more than likely. But... oh, you know what I bet happened when I cut that dang thing? Oh, it's a mystery right now. Oh my gosh, why do we have power here and no freaking... oh, here we go, Matt. You dingle dongle. Look at this. This thing. I actually think this is is this a fuse in here? I think it is a fuse, and this cap is gone. Oh my gosh. It's been a wild goose chase, but there wasn't even a goose involved. Nice, he's got her all plugged again. Oh my gosh, guys, boys and girls. We caught the granddaddy. Look at that son of a gun. That's the big boy. Right there, right around the jugular. So that's 3 of them in my yard, and I don't think I got them all. But I think I'm slowing them down. All right, folks, it's after dinner. Ellie's gonna come with me now, get her set up on gathering bales on that field over east. That one, the hay doesn't need to be hauled. We just line it up along the highway. So we'll get the double bale fork on 7410 and we'll turn her loose. We'll go do a little baler upgrade. I have a new product that's a prototype I'm trying out for hoarders down there in Bristol. It's a rock block on the front of a baler. You've all heard of rock blocks on your Mocos and stuff. They're the originators that made that. Anyway, this is a prototype for a baler. So put that on there. Then I got a new drawbar for the 4440, which is a straight drawbar. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a little bit with that. Instead of a curved one, it's a straight one. Gives your hitch a little more height. We won't have as much trouble with the hay wrapping on the PTO. Gotta have your thing in there, that tube, yeah.
The pin is way shorter than, or lower.
What do you mean?
The pin's lower, so this needs to go down.
Alrighty, we'll take this over to the field and get her started, and then we'll head to the baler. Getting Ellie trained in. She knows what's up. We're gonna line these bales up along the highway, and I line them up so I can pick them up with the bale bed. So we line them up a little bit different. They're gonna be 5 rows or 6 rows like that back to the highway, and they'll be spaced apart. So we won't have to grab them again. We won't have to touch them again except when we go to get them with the pickup. Well, we got her started. We'll leave this 4-wheeler here for her in case she needs to go somewhere. Once she gets the hang of it, it's a pretty enjoyable job. We don't do a lot of this gathering bales. This is like the only field we do it to because it's right along the highway there. Give her the old kick test. Now we've lost a lot of weight. Dry to the touch, all the way to the bottom. All right, let's go put this drawbar on the tractor. Look at that rock block. See if we can get that popped on. I don't think it's a big deal. Get some twine and be after the baling. So the idea behind this straight drawbar is to get this baler hitch up off of the ground more. The original John Deere does this loop down. I guess I don't understand why or what. I'm sure back in the day there was implements that needed that, but now this new one's just going to come straight. So it's going to raise this thing up about, you know, whatever the distance is, a couple, 2.5 inches. I was having some troubles with the hay getting balled up around here, and it was wrapping around my PTO, so I put this bungee cord to hold the shield still. The other thing was happening is it was catching hay, and then it was starting to roll the hay, balling it up, and then a big slug would go in. And the other day I did have it slip the clutch on the baler once when I did a big wad in there. I think I'm just going to try to put the brakes on the tractor, pull that front end around just enough that I could slide this new drawbar in and out of there. Front tire's cranked, got my foot on the brake. I want that hitch to move over. Too lazy to unhook all the hoses and stuff, but I think we'll get her. Yeah, I hope there's enough room to get her past there. So these have a pin up here in the front that holds the drawbar on, and then up above here is just a little washer. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little washer with a half moon in it, and you line that up with your pin, and then this pin should just push straight up. There's no need for any wrenches if you get that washer lined up with your, and then the drawbar should slide ahead. There she comes. My tire flap and chains are kind of giving us a little bit of fits. Oh, maybe we'll get her. Oh yeah. So here's the new bad boy, and she's straight. See? Straight shot. We'll get this thing wedged in here. It's heavy, solid steel. I don't know what it weighs. Nice, bud. She fell right into place. We were up to get off of the drawbar. We were up off of it. Now it's gonna be way up here. Got my work cut out for me to crank this puppy up. This jack kind of sucks. Okay dokie. So this is the rock block for a baler. Say these things are not available for purchase yet. These are prototypes. Hopefully there's instructions in here too. I guess they just assume we know what we're doing. It has 3 holes right here, and they got 3 holes right there. They don't look like they line up to me. Well, I think I figured out how they're supposed to go on. You're gonna have to drill a hole in here. So that's gonna go on here. All we use is twine, so I don't want to cover up my twine arm indicator, so I can't put it like way up here. If you put it way up here, you could. I'm gonna TO on it right now. I like the idea. It looks like it's well built. I need another person here with me to get in the cab, and so I can hold these things up and see. The other thing is I want to be able to see my arms come back. I want to make sure I can see these get cut off. So yeah, I'm gonna put a pin in it for right now. I think I got it figured out. Those things are gonna go on the bottom, help hold that canvas or that rubber. I'm gonna grab a cooler and a couple of drinks, and then throw some twine in here. You see my fancy rack, the old ATV rack. Fits right in, 2 bolts into the old Miller loader bucket bracket, so I can quick take it on and off. It's kind of a light duty rock, some tools, and I can put 3 balls of twine in here. I don't know if you notice how I was carrying those twines. You want to alternate your shoulders, and then how you do that each time, so you don't get freakishly large on one side or the other. It's an old trick I learned back when I was in just out of high school shingling. We would carry bundles of shingles up the roof, and you had to alternate. Otherwise, by the end of the summer, we'd have just this freakishly large arm on the one side, which kind of deterred the ladies, I guess. Maybe there was other reasons, I don't know. The pickup is quite a bit higher now. See how we got to lower this pickup down quite a bit because we gained so much height on that hitch, which, like Mike had mentioned, that's going to also open up the throat on your baler more to let that bigger windrows get sucked up in there. So might be another advantage of having that straight drawbar. Mike actually put 42s on the back of his 4430, so that puppy sits up there a ways now for just his baling tractor. Well, here we go. I'll let you ride out here a little bit. That drawbar definitely helps. She's sliding underneath there nice. I don't know, you guys want to do some more time lapsing of watching me bail? I need a flipping media man, a cameraman.
Get this little bugger out of here. Jackpot. Mini rock pile collection. Well, we're gonna come over and check on Ellie. We're lucky to have her around for a few weeks between summer session and fall. So we're enjoying having her here and getting some good help. Ellie's lining these up so Matt can grab them real easy with the bale bed this winter. So that's pretty handy.
Epic time lapse. Well, folks, this is it. We're getting down to the last little, we're done. I don't know what to do next. I kind of think we should cut a little hay. But I don't want it to get rained on. Last time I checked, they kind of backed it off. I got a little hay yard over here where we put hay along the road. It's not been cut yet. I could cut that. It's 11 acres. And get that baled in the next day or two. Then we're probably gonna have to head down to Johnson's where we got those yearlings down there. There's like 40 acres of hay down there we gotta go cut. That's probably, I need to get that checked off the list. 7 o'clock, so we got time to go knock that down for sure. I kind of think we're gonna do it. Talked myself into it. I just remembered. We cut a little bit of hay up in the yard there. I'm gonna have to go rake that. Here's the bale count for this field. 369 when we came into this field, so what's that? 120, 70, 89, 120. So this is a 29.9 acre field, 30 acre field. There's 2 wet spots, so it's probably only about 28 and a half. So whatever that tallies out to be, 28 and a half. Let's go hop in the rake. Well, it's pretty wet down in there. When I cut it with that cutter, I was spinning out too, and I would like have gotten up along those trees. I did cut, that's better grass back in there, but into those cattails I can't get around there. So we'll just have to abandon that area. And a little bit up in the hayloft. Well, the worst of it is I gotta walk back to the tractor. It's really not that bad. I could use my steps. We got this. Then I think we will see what I forgot I had this little ditch cut at home too, so get 2 bales in the yard over there and then half a bale out of this ditch, I guess. We'll see if Mrs. Sassy Pants wants to hop in the cutter and we'll go cut that 11 acres down quick. Sassy Pants said she would come with me, so we're gonna go cut this little patch down. That way we got a place. I want to put some of that barley. I want to put like half of that barley field along the highway lined up to grab with the pickup. So it's kind of the reason I want to get it cut, but I need to stop cutting up here. Like I said, I got to go down to Wayne's and cut that hay down there and there's a ditch and get some of that stuff done. Then I'll come back up here and continue on. You can see I narrowed up the windrow. This grass hay, I'm not going to lay it out as wide, and if there is a little chance of rain, I think it'll be better. I'm going to timber back some more. Hello? We'll probably tip it down just a hair more. Pressure on my head, which makes it float a little bit more, and I keep it tilted back just a hair more, because the outside round seems to be, you got your plow ridge and then you got just a field transition and there's more gophers around the edge. So then as I work in, then I'll start to tip my tipper down more and more and more and take the pressure off. It is, man. Sun's going down. Didn't get it all quite done. I don't know how many acres it is. It's maybe a little bigger than I think. But yeah, we're gonna call her a day. I'll pick that up tomorrow. I got a meeting to go to. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace.